Good morning, friends. If you haven't seen me before, hi. This is what I look like. Um, I'm Kaylee, and this is going to be a video on how to make an aesthetic or a collage. They've been really popular on, especially in book Twitter, for the last couple of months. But one thing I've noticed is that a lot of people are using images that they do not have the rights to, that are not um, they're not fair game, and they're not giving credit um, to whoever they got the images from, which is not great. Um, Basically, you should think of an image as a photographer's work, so you should pay them for that work. Makes sense, right? But the internet makes it really easy to not do that. What I'm going to show you today is my process on how to do things like this and how to use only stock images and stock graphics um, that are free, because ain't nobody paying for these things. I know. I know. Instead, I'm going to show you what I do. All right, well, I hope you enjoy, and if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll answer them when I see them. The first thing I'm going to show you is where to get images that are stock images. Um, it's going to take you some time. You're going to have to do some searching, but you can pretty much get more or less whatever you want um, as a stock image. Um, and that is the ideal for something like this, especially a free stock image. So the first place I'm going to show you is actually not the first tab on my window. Pixabay is one of my favorites. It pretty much has everything that you want. If you need something that's illustrated, it has that. If you want something that's a vector graphic, which if you're familiar with programs like Illustrator or things like that, it means that it can scale pretty much to any size um, without getting messed up or pixelated or anything like that, which is really useful for me. They even have stock video. I haven't ever used it, but they have stock video. But what we're going to focus on today is the photos, and I'm going to be doing this demonstration working on an aesthetic for A Girl Like Her, which by Talia Hibbert, which was an absolutely delightful romance that I just finished reading the other day. And if you're my Patreon patron, you can read the review, and I'll link it in the post here. So Pixabay pretty much has everything, and what that means is they have a lot of stuff, but sometimes it sucks. Let's just be real here. It's free. You gotta hunt through the bad stuff. So what I'm gonna search for first is Captain America, because this book is kind of themed off of Captain America. And I'm gonna go over here to images and go straight to photos because I don't want the illustrations for now. If these aren't what I want, then maybe. But yeah, these are not what I want. Okay, so we'll change to some illustrations and maybe pull his shield or something for this aesthetic. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see, it says Creative Commons free for commercial use, which means that is the most open license that you can have. Some of these will have free for editorial use, which has some limitations, which basically means you can't sell it. You can't sell anything with it on there. But this doesn't require attribution. So what you do is you hit free download, and I'm going to get the vector graphic because that's what I want. If you just want it as an image, you can do that, and it'll download as a PNG, which has this transparent background. But I want the vector. So that's kind of an example of how Pixabay works. The next one that I want to show you is Unsplash. Nope. Here we go. I don't know why it's doing this, but Unsplash has a lot of really great photography. However, the search function sucks. You can search for let's say woman, and it will, as you can see, there's almost 9,000 photos. Um, but it will pretty much pull up anything that has to do with a woman. It's not very concise. Um, so, oh, it has tags now. That's nice. That's new. But yeah, this has some really high quality photos. So I want a an African American or an African English woman. So I'm gonna search for black woman, and as you can see, it's not gonna pull up all black women, but what it does pull up is pretty high quality. Um, Talia is described as fairly heavy and in pajamas. So I'm pretty much just going to find someone who I think is a good face cast for her because it's harder to find a plus size model. Um, you can look. Um, yeah, as you can see, not great as far as search goes. Um, as anything that has black in it is going to be popping up. Damn, that's not even a goldfish. Okay, sorry. Easily distractible over here. But there are a couple of other options you can have that you can look at. Magdalene is, again, has a pretty crappy search function. And it requires attribution for all of these photos because these are photographers that are kind of trying to break into the industry. But one of the things that it does have that's really cool is you can search by the dominant color in an image. So if you want something um, that, let's see, what would be a good one for this one? I'm going to go with gray for this one. See what it pops up. And as you can see, it'll pull up things with, that are mostly gray. I'm going to search for pajamas because, as I said, dang it. Okay. She wears her pajamas in throughout pretty much the entire book. Um, this doesn't have as an extensive of a collection as Pixabay would or Unsplash would, but it's still pretty good, as you can see. The next one I'm going to show you is Pexels, which most of the time puts its stuff on Pixabay. But sometimes it's a little easier to narrow down exactly what you're looking for and do it here. Especially if you're not finding it on Pixabay. License here, they're free for commercial use. You can use them for whatever. You don't have to attribute to it. The only restriction they have is that, make sure you're not infringing on any other copyright laws for logos or things like that. And don't Photoshop these people so that they look like Nazis, stuff like that. But it's pretty straightforward. So let's see if I can find something with pajamas here. I can, but that's not helpful because Ruth would never wear those pajamas. That's fine. Let's see. Like I said, the hero in this story is retired military. So that's attractive. That's what I'm looking for here. Let's see. What? Okay, let's try something else. He's also a blacksmith. I don't like the images that they're coming up with here. So when it comes to stuff like this, you do kind of have to be willing to move and see what you can change. Okay, they don't have anything for this one. They have, links to people that they're willing to pay you for. Uh, or they're willing to have you pay for. That's the correct order of those words. Um, this website is really great for people of color. That's kind of what they focus on, is people of color. And that's awesome. I'm going to pull up their About page here while it loads. People of color are significantly harder to find when it comes to stock images, and that sucks. For this one, they also have, free for commercial use, but they would like it if you gave credit to the website because they're pretty new. I think they're less than a year old. So they are trying to break into the industry. They also have a Twitter that you can follow, and they'll post the photos that they think are cool that have been uploaded. Let's see. It's been a while since I used this site, simply because I found what I was looking for elsewhere. Um, oh, y'all have more than this. These are just, the search function is not great on this either. I guess I'm not sure why most of these things have pretty bad search functions, but you can kind of scroll through, and they only have 57 pages, so it's not the end of the world. Actually, that'd be a really good one for this one. That'd be a good one for Ruth. And save image as. Uh, let's see. I'm gonna save it to my desktop for right now. No, I'm not, because I won't find it later. Sorry about that. I've got the allergies and two very furry animals. I'm gonna put these in their own folder. Thank you, Cat. You're very useful. Okay, so there's that. This one appears to not exist anymore. Okay, well then we're not going to do that. Cat would like to say hello. Flickr is also a pretty good place to find stuff, but you have to, again, you have to be willing to hunt through a bunch of weird stuff. This particular group is the Women of Color in Tech chat. Sorry, my cat's thwapping me with his tail. He would like to say hello. If you heard chirping, that was him. He is my my best companion, and also a pain in the butt, as cats are. But this one I was hoping to find somebody with a drawing tablet or um, laptop because that's what Ruth does in the book. She's a webcomic artist. Um, so that's kind of what we're. That's too corporate. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Um, but that's Flickr. Um, again, you have to label exactly what you're looking for, and you can actually um, search for Creative Commons images. So I'm going to search for shepherd's pie. If you read the book, you'll understand. If not, you'll be okay. But you can search by um, whatever. You know, they have all kinds of options. I'm searching by commercial use and mods allowed because that's what I'm going to do. That looks delicious. And that looks exactly like what Evan would use. We're going to pull back up my... Yes, I'm sorry, my files are very disorganized. We're going to pull that back up, and I'm going to put that over here, and also Captain America. But like I said, that's fairly easy. Color stock is not free. I think they have some free images, but most of them you have to pay for. And apparently they're closing. Wow. Oh, they're the people that made the Women in Color stock photo album. Okay, well then I'm gonna close this because they're not good. They're not there anymore. Those are the places that I go to find stock images. But honestly, my go-tos are Unsplash and Pixabay simply because they're really good at what they do. So I'm gonna get to work and find the other images um, that I want here. You want to have um, 5 or 6 images. If you do much more than that, it's gonna get a little complicated. But up to you. This is how I do it. And I want photos. Let's try graphics tablet. That'll do. You also want to have a selection of images that can be vertical or horizontal, um, just so you have some options when you actually make the aesthetic. Let's see if we can find anything here. Well, that's something. This will do. This will do nicely. And you can also see, who made this and some similar images. Those are not free. Never mind. Don't do that. Um, but yeah, let's see. I want a small town because that's where this takes place. Ravenswood has about, I don't know, 40 people in it, and they're all busybodies. So I didn't change that to photos. Let's try that again. This is in, I think it's a fictional town set in England, I think. So trying to find something that doesn't look ridiculously American, if that makes sense. And also doesn't look like it's falling apart. Um, that's not terrible. I'll hold that. See if I find something better. Actually, that's kind of perfect. Let's do that one. Let's close that tab. And then we'll do this. Okay. Yeah, I think that will do nicely. All right, so I'm going to flip over to InDesign, which is what I use to make these because it's the program I'm most comfortable with. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some frames to put these pictures in. I'm going to futz with this some, it's not going to be just, 6 images plopped in there, but it should be pretty neat. All right. And what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to have, actually, I'm going to put that picture of the 2 of them right here and have this be on each side. I may go back and pull another image. As you can see, we don't just want it to be her teeth because that's weird. So what I do is I fill the frame proportionately and it makes it nice. And actually this works really well for this one because we have the options here. Actually, you want to kind of balance out the images so you're not having everything that's really complicated up top. So I'm going to copy these and paste these down here. That way we can have his up here and hers on the bottom. Um, just for, I think it will look nice. Nope. Basically, one of the plot lines in this is that he's super into feeding people, and not in a weird way. He's just um he very much wants to make sure that Ruth eats, because he finds out she doesn't have an oven and is like has his mind blown. Um so that's what I'm going for here. Uh I'm gonna need more images. Okay. Let's see, I've used this one. This one I haven't used this one because I gotta open that in another program. Open with Illustrator. Now I have the Adobe Suite because I do this all the time, and um, I make a little bit of money off of these, so it made sense for me to put the money into this. But you can also do most of this on sites like Canva or apps like Procreate. I know that's an app for iPad that's had some rave reviews recently. Um, and basically, what I'm just going to do is copy this and paste it over here, and it's probably going to be, yeah, it's ginormous. Um, because that's not what I wanted. Okay. You kind of gotta futz with these things sometimes and make sure that you've got all the layers. That's one of the issues with working with vectors, is you need to make sure you have every single layer. It needs to be smaller. And I'm holding shift down so that it scales at a proportional rate, because otherwise it's going to look skewy and I don't like it. Let's see, I'm going to go back to the, oh, where did I do with that? Okay, we're just going to open up the bookmark. I bookmark all of these, it just makes my life easy. Oh, that's the one that I messed it up on. I'm looking for an image of Black Woman's hands on a laptop. But the ones at the top were too fancy for uh, for Ruth. So I'm gonna just keep going until I find what I want. Actually, this will work if I crop it. This girl looks like she's like 15. She's probably not. She's probably, an adult. But it's not right for Ruth. And she's way too skinny for Ruth, and I don't want to do that. So I'll drag this up over here And where did it go? This one? It is this one. And what I'm going to do is zoom in, click this so that it opens up the base image, and screw with it until it looks right. That will do nicely. I also want a stack of comic books. So that's what I'm going to search for here because I've already looked on Unsplash and Pixabay and I was not impressed with what I found. What is happening here? I have questions about that, but you know what? Whatever. We'll roll with it. That will do. That will do nicely. Okay, let's see. What do I want here? Let's do a lasagna. Nope. Nope. We're gonna go back over to the right desktop. Sorry about that, y'all. Um, I like that one. Nope. Wrong one. I need one more. All right. And I think I want another thing over here. What? That's exactly what I want. Thank you. With this one, I'm not doing anything with it. I'm probably not going to reuse it, so I'm just going to get the largest one and make it work. And I'm going to put it right there. And then if you want to see what it will look like when it's done, we have the overprint preview. And see here, I can see that this doesn't quite link up with the image above it, so I'm going to fix that. But yeah, that is my aesthetic. So thank you for watching. If you've made it all the way through, I appreciate it. Um, I hope that you'll check out this book because it's awesome, and I think you'll like it. Um, have a great day.